Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we are going to be jumping down into the world of XRP, reviewing what's been going on most recently with the price action and what I think is likely to happen next. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. Linked in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check it out? So let's jump right down into today's video, keeping it nice and brief, but yet on point, kicking things off with the 1 hour time frame. So here we have XRP paired up with USDT on the BitGet spot exchange 1 hour time frame. As you can see, we saw slippage to the downside and a little relief rally. This is actually counter to kind of what the market was doing yesterday. So it is quite interesting. Now, obviously, as we kind of see in and out of here, we can kind of acknowledge that we are in this idea of a fifth wave movement. And for the most part, this can be a couple of different things. I was trying to talk about this the other day on the other video that we were doing, where we have 5-3-5-3-5-3-5s, and essentially where they're all nesting inside themselves totally like this, right? And then, of course, we just got the zigzag pattern, which is a 5-3-5, and how these two things kind of look very similar in terms of the price action. So we have these kind of five-wave moves. Now, for the most part, what we do have here is this idea that we are continuing to slip to the downside, and it does look like we had a diagonal up here. We go ahead and just see if I can get this one to move on over to this side, and we hit the 1.618 and so forth, right? But if we take a look at it from up here and we take this five-wave structure and we move this over to our bouncers over here, we can see that we're not yet hitting 1.618. That would be at 42.183. And so we're not having those impulsive trigger points. Instead, I think what we're going to end up with here is going to be a diagonal, and it's going to be full of zigzag patterns. Now, I could be wrong. We could be nesting down a lot of impulsive patterns where eventually we just get a complete breakdown of the market. However, I suspect that's probably not necessarily going to be the case. So for example, I think we've kind of got a three-wave move here. We have a bounce, we then have another three-wave move coming down here. We'll have a bounce, we'll have another three-wave move, and so forth. And we'll continue to have these until they complete out a five-wave structure, coming all the way down towards our target range between 35.174 and 39.214. Okay, and so for the most part, I think that's really where we sit. So what's to be expected right now? Well, I suspect we probably are going to have another pull to the downside. Yeah, we'd have to have another pull to the downside. Sorry, I was just trying to calculate that in my head. We would have to kind of see this move down just a little bit more before we have another rally to the upside. So where's that targeting? That's going to target out. I don't think we're necessarily done with this wave forward, to be fair. Based on its current highs, I think we might push up a little bit higher. But based on its current highs, we would estimate a low position to come down more towards 44.293 and 45.286. So this little yellow box area here, right? And then we would have another bounce up and another five-wave drop to complete that out. Now, this can be, of course, a double zigzag pattern and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, I suspect it's actually just ABC up correction and another ABC and then another up correction and another ABC. So we'll end up with essentially coming down into our low range just through a diagonal, which will complete our fifth wave movement. That would be my kind of thoughts on XRP at the moment on this 1 hour time frame. So although I think we can still push up a little ways here, it'll be interesting to see if momentum is going to shift around enough to do this, or whether or not we are just going to continue this breakdown, finish this structure, then relief rally. Okay, we'll keep a close eye on it. I think both are technically possible. Today's going to be a volatile day, so just keep a close eye on that. I would have thought. So take this up into the daily, and we're right on track for our bigger moves to the downside, because this again is another fifth wave movement on the daily time frame. So we're talking about some micro movements that are occurring right inside here, but these are actually all a part of a fifth wave movement, which is a part of a third wave movement, and we've got progression to the downside to be had. Right, so for the most part, there's nothing terribly too unusual going on here. Again, this is our range that we're talking about, which is this is going to be a diagonal, and we're targeting out 35 to 39 cent. We then relief rally, only to then have our fifth wave break us down towards 30 cent, okay? And of course, if you start with five waves, you must end in five waves, so we'd have a relief rally after this on the daily time frame, only to then break on down once again, where we target out significantly lower, Okay, and you can kind of see how that would play out, right? And so unfortunately, we're bearish on XRP. Now, it can break out of our structures, of course, and that's kind of what you would be looking to try to achieve, right? We'd be looking to try to get price above 67.5 cent in order to change the current bearish patterns and structures that we have formed on the price action of XRP. Okay, but unless we do cross 67.5, we have to be bearish. Those are unfortunately the ins and the outs. Now, I know Elliott Wave theory can be a rather complex subject, which is why I like smart money concepts and I trade both of these together. Both smart money concepts and Elliott Wave theory combined gives you a very good analytical approach to the market. You can see our structures are technically bullish here and they are yet to change, but Elliott Wave theory is telling us they are more than likely going to change from a bullish structure into a bearish one, where we'll get a bearish change of characterization on the market on the daily level. You can also see that we have our EMAs, the 50 being the red line and the 200 being the white line. If we throw in here our MAs are just our moving averages. You can also see how everything is kind of starting to collide together. We're going to see some death crosses occur on the price action of XRP as well. And so we need to be very mindful that those are laggy indicators. They're only going to show you what's going to happen or what's already happened, but people are going to react as if that is going to cause the next big pull to the downside. They are just moving averages, whether they're exponential or just standard. And essentially what they're doing is they're telling you that short-term price action is about to cross down lower than longer term price action, and that is basically telling you that you've been in a bearish market for a little while. You've seen bearish structures appear, and that the short term price action is dropping down lower than the longer term price action. When that cross happens, the market will move to the downside, typically because people are overreacting to the idea or the terminology death cross, but essentially it's only showing you what's already happened, so you can be mindful of that. But for the most part, we are unfortunately still bearish on XRP. Now, take it from a weekly standpoint, you can see that this is a very nice healthy correction on the weekly. We hit the target C wave highs at 93.8 cent. We were targeting out 93.76. So great take profit. We didn't know how we were going to get there. It was obviously the back of the XRP not being a security on the secondary market that really pumped us up that way. But the market was ready to kind of go to that range. That was a natural area for rejection, and we moved on down. We were hoping to hold out on 52.58 cent, but we didn't. We broke through there, and we are currently trading below the weekly 200 EMA. And so we are unfortunately still bearish here. This correction does not appear to be over. And like I said earlier, it looks to me like we have this as maybe a giant A wave. We've got to go up into a B wave and then come down into a C wave. And we'll potentially be talking about coming down, maybe back and retesting those lows and those existing lows around our 28 cent. Now, there is a big problem here. For those who do not like Elliott Wave theory or just simply refuse to understand how Elliott Wave theory works, there are some other things that we need to kind of consider. And let me see if I can find, I always keep losing my tools here, but I would have thought we would have, Head and Shoulders. So here you'd have the potential, if we do come down all the way into this low range, of a head and shoulder pattern, and we'll know what would happen there under a head and shoulder pattern here, which would be a major break of that neckline to the downside, right? So you can see here, if we test these lows and we bounce and we get rejected on this previous area rejected, we come back down into our neckline, we could lose this neckline and have a new bear market low at some point in the future. So we can't be too hesitant. Ultimately, Elliott Wave theory is, in my opinion, absolute. And all these other tools, whether they are cup and handles, head and shoulders, all these other things are basically just showing you another variation of how you could look at the market through an Elliott Wave theory structure. Essentially here at the moment, we can see that we have an interesting potential breakdown on the weekly time frame that could turn into a head and shoulder pattern, if that's easier to understand, and ultimately a new bear market low for XRP. Now, obviously, as you know, that's not what I think is likely to happen, but it's a possibility. And instead, I'm looking at this as already being a bear market low point being in. However, it's possible that that is not the case, and we do have a major break to the downside here, and we actually have many opportunities to accumulate XRP at much lower and significantly lower pricing. But we'll see how that kind of plays out on the slightly longer term. But for now, I think if we just focus in on what's currently going on, we have some interesting targets where I expect bounces to occur, and they are unfortunately going to be a little bit bearish over the next week or so. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I'm going to leave this video right there. If you have found it useful and informative, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what you're waiting for, check it out. Link is in the description below. Until the next one, have a fantastic day.